Imagine a tree. It needs all sorts of materials, water, sunlight, nutrients to develop. The study of a tree cannot be complete without taking consideration all of the factors that might influence its growth. However, the growth of a tree is not the product of any one factor or agent, but rather it arises from the interaction of a multitude of factors. What makes the situation more complicated is that a tree, in most cases, does not exist individually. The context where a tree grows should also be considered. A tree grows in the forest by forming a community. Independent as they are on the ground, their roots are intertwined and connected. The dynamics of the situation makes it difficult to isolate any of the possible factors and make the conclusion that it plays a more determinant role in the process. It seems like the more we get depth to a phenomenon, the more unpredictable we would find it to be. That's what the complexity theory tries to capture. We have seen the explanatory power of complexity theory when it's applied to the study of science, like meteorology and quantum physics. But how relevant it is to the study of language learning? Let's go back to our metaphor about trees. Trees are always considered as static and stationary. However, under the scope of complexity theory, they embody multiple dynamic layers. The complexity theory makes more sense when it comes to the explanation of L2 acquisition, whose subjects are humans, a dynamic and fluid being. Traditional L2 study picture language learning as a static process. Researchers always hold an over-positive attitude towards the learning process, thus putting forward theories which seem to be simple and concise, but fail to explain the complexity of the language learning process. For example, languages are always taken as static entities that could be studied and compared separately. Also, language learners are simplified as models for study. They are taken as pre-programmed machines. It is believed that if given enough input, a planned result could be expected. By taking this oversimplistic view, learners' individual differences and social factors that are at play and interacting in the process are usually ignored. The result is rigid teachers reading boring textbooks. Our language textbook consists of units that are built on each other, hoping that the knowledge that are learned previously can facilitate the learning that follows. Teachers who are deeply influenced by this ideology take language learning process as a linear development. They always fail to take into account the dynamics of learning process of their students.